Stressful. America's so freaking stressful, bro. All right, here is nothing but bills. Strangers sometimes when I tell them that I want to move to Jamaica, a lot of them don't understand, and I always tell them, visit one time and you will understand why I am so attracted and drawn to this island, right? So in this video, I kind of want to do a rant of why I want to go. This video will probably be all over the place, and I am fine with that. If this is kind of your vibe, let me know. Let me know if you agree with me, if you're thinking about moving or have moved and want to share some like encouragement with me, or just like, you know, connect. I really want to find my crowd of people because I'm so serious. Like, I want to move. My husband, who is Jamaican, born and raised, he's been here now for like 4 years, and he too is like, I want to go back home. And I have my sons who are twins, they're 1 year old, and I want them to grow up in Jamaica. And the reason why I want them to grow up in Jamaica, and trust me, a lot of people tell me like, do not do it, but the reason why I want them to grow up in Jamaica is because, first of all, in Virginia, it's just me and my husband, right? We have no family here except for my father, who lives like 2 hours away. So it's just me and him here, and we don't have a community of people. And you guys know that it takes a village to raise children. And growing up, I lived in a house, my husband lived in a house, we both lived there our whole life, and we had community because I'm born and raised in Florida, and I had a community of people. I had my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, grandparents, godmother, church, school, all of this stuff. And our family had been in that community since, I don't know, like the early 1900s. So I knew so many people growing up that I was playing outside, I would walk to school, people would see me, and if I was doing something wrong, they would say, oh, you're such and such's daughter. Oh, you know what I mean? Like that community. And the same with my husband. And I feel like our twins will not get that here because, number one, I've been living in this apartment now for like 3 years, and I cannot tell you my neighbor's name. I have no idea who they are. If they move right now, I won't miss them. I don't know them. We don't look out for each other. I might see them in a parking lot and do like a little smirk, but it's definitely not a community. We don't go to church here. Like we don't have any friends here. So I want my twins to experience what it means to grow up in a community. I want them to understand what it means to look out for other people, to have cousins, they have their sister there. You know what I mean? Like, I want them to play outside. I don't want them to sit in here on TikTok or Instagram or watching whatever kids watch on TV and just that's that, and then they only talk to each other and they don't go outside, they don't play, because we move around from place to place, because that is what happens when you live in these big cities, right? It's very transient. You live there for a year or so and then you move somewhere else when you find somewhere better. And even when you buy a house, you may not talk to people. And so when I'm in Jamaica, people just come up to you and talk to you. Like, there's no shame in it. There's nothing weird about it. They're not flirting with you. They're not trying to get nothing from you. It's just like a friendly place. And I feel like because everybody there is mostly Jamaican, right? Here, it's like my neighbor could be from Bangladesh, they could be from China, you know, and yeah, it's beauty and diversity, but there's also a lack of commonality between us, so that there's nothing that we can really talk about if it wasn't like we didn't try. It's not natural. But when you're in Jamaica, like, people just come up and talk to you like it's no problem. No problem. So I want my children to experience that. Furthermore, their grandma came up from Jamaica, right? My husband's mom. Every morning she takes them in the room. She reads the Bible to them. They sing. They do devotion. And I'm like, that to me is powerful, because it's less about the religion of being a Christian, but more about that quiet time, that spirituality, an elder, you know what I mean? They have to respect her and listen to her. All of those things to me are important as a parent. And then the last reason I want them to go to Jamaica is because of the education. All right. I'm not trying to be funny, but like, growing up, most of my friends being from South Florida were Caribbean, right? Most of them were Jamaican, just being from where I'm from. I can tell you that they were far more advanced than what we were doing. When I went to college, my friends who came over here to go to college, they were far more advanced. And people would say, like, I would tell my Jamaican friends, like, I want my kids to go there. And they would say, oh, no, it's more opportunities here. But I'm like, y'all don't even know, like, how much more far advanced you were than us. You know what I mean? Like, they're just way more advanced. These kids in Jamaica, they're getting homework from, like, the age of 6 months. I swear to God, like, the kids are a lot more advanced. And I feel like, especially for black boys, if you do your research, most black boys in a special education class, the majority are black boys, right? So I feel like if they go to Jamaica, where the majority of the teachers will be black educators, I feel like they will hold them to a higher standard than they do in America. And that's just my opinion. I feel like they would get a solid foundation in Jamaica more than they would here. I feel like sometimes here they just pass the kids along because they have a quota to fill, but there it's more like, I don't know, like they hold them to a higher standard, and I want that for my children. You know what I mean? So that is why I want to move on the children's side. Now, on the adult side, as in me and my husband, this is why we want to move. All right. Number one, America is stressful. Stressful. America is so freaking stressful, bro. All right. Here is nothing but bills. Nothing but bills. I swear to God. Like, you have to pay to drive on the highway. Okay, I just got a new car, registered my car, highway usage fee. All right, no problem. You have to pay to park. Everywhere you go, you have to pay to park. And I'm not talking like $1 an hour. No, like $3, $4, $5 an hour just to park. Then you have to pay if you go to the hospital and you say your finger hurts, nothing's wrong with it, you have to pay. You have to, everything you have to just pay. It's like so many bills. I swear to God, like every time I open my mailbox, it's just all these bills. And then it's like bills with no enjoyment, if you get what I mean. When I'm in Jamaica, okay, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of bills in Jamaica too, in the sense of it's higher. Like, okay, I know JPS, they can be a thief, as people say, and you know, when you get a package you have to pay, but you have enjoyment in Jamaica that I don't feel like you have in America. When I'm in Jamaica, I enjoy my time. I just sit out on the ends, as they say, with like my friends, or like my husband's family, which is now my family too, and I could sit out with them and we're not doing nothing but maybe playing dominoes, maybe just talking, maybe listening to music, and I'm enjoying myself. But when I'm here, it's like I'm cooped up in a house like this, watching TV all day, thinking about what bill I have to pay next. Like it's more to life than that. Honestly, it is more to life. You're supposed to enjoy life. And with the way inflation is set up, like I am not enjoying life right now because everything is like work and bills and that's it. And like I'm saying, it's more to life than that. I don't want to work for the next, God willing, 30 years just to retire. And then now I get to go to Jamaica, and it's like my enjoyment at that point is not as much as it would have been if I go by the time I'm 30. You know what I mean? So that to me is the major reason why I want to go. Jamaica has something, and if you're watching this video, you probably know, it has something that ignites my soul. And that sounds corny, but it is what it is. Okay? So that's the number one. It's way too many bills here, and it's stressful. Everything here is bills, work, and that's it. No social life, no work-life balance. And then it's like, with the way inflation is going, it's like the middle class is slipping into being poor. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to be poor anyways, which God willing I will not be, because I'm going to continue to work hard. But I'm like, if I'm going to have all these problems anyway and supposed to be the land of opportunity, well, it's really not the land of opportunity, because you can do everything right in this place, as in go to college, get a degree, get married, and have children, and buy a house, and all the things they say you're supposed to do for the American dream. And this is not a dream. Like, this is a nightmare. I swear to God. Like, this is not the dream that they sold me. Like, this is not, this, I don't understand. Life is lifing. So, yeah. Then, again, another reason why we want to go is because the housing is different. So we live in a very high cost of living area, which is the DMV. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. You're like, okay, well, you can move to a lower cost of living area. But if you do that, then the wages change and you don't make as much. And you still probably can't afford a house. And thank God we were able to get a house. But the thing is, like, we're in an apartment. We own a house, but we also have an apartment. And there's no outdoor area, like one little balcony. I miss going out and sitting out on the porch and just enjoying nature. Like, I'm stuck in this apartment all day, and it's like you can't even enjoy your living space. And like, I see kids outside and they want to play with each other, and their parents are yelling and saying, come inside the house, because there's no space for them to play. They're playing in the parking lot. And like, in some of these luxury apartments, they're not even building playground areas for children. It's like for adults. So the kids are basically just stuck in the house, and they're not really getting outside. So, and the same with me. Like, sometimes I just want to go outside, and I don't want to have to get in the car and drive to a park. I just want to open my door and get some breeze. Like, do you guys get where I'm coming from? I don't know. This is like turning into a rant, but it's how I feel. I really am looking forward to moving, honestly. Like, I really am. The cost of living is too high here. The work-life balance is non-existent. And one of the major things people say is that, okay, Jamaica is expensive, but like, the U.S. is expensive. Honestly, the U.S. is just as expensive. Like, I see some of the groceries that people buy in Jamaica, and like, I feel like I'm paying the same amount when I go shopping at Costco. You know what I mean? So it's like, once you have a way to make money in Jamaica, and you consistently can bring in US dollars, because the minimum wage there is horrible. Once you figure out a way, I feel like your metric of life has increased, and you can enjoy yourself more. And like, even my husband, somebody who wanted to come to America and came to America and did all the right things, even he's like, you know what, my metric of life was higher when I was in Jamaica. It's just that I was broke. So once you can figure out a way to make money, that's one thing that will make your life better, right? Because I feel like you just get more bang for your buck in terms of your happiness when you're in Jamaica. So I'm sorry to have gone on like a rant, but let me know if you guys agree, please. Like, I feel like when I'm there, anything can turn into a good time. Like, you could go to the river with friends and family. You can go to the beach. You can just chill out. walk. I mean, there's so many things that you can do, and it's like you have a community of people. And yes, there's very fake people there, and I could do like a whole series on that. But for the most part, like, there are good people who will like look out for you and that you can vibe with. So that's the reason why we want to move. I'm trying to think if there's another reason, but like, that's just the biggest thing, is just like enjoyment. Like, my husband said when he came here, he has aged considerably. Oh, that's another thing. The food in Jamaica is like way more fresh and way more delicious and just better for you. Let me tell you guys a funny story. When I first started going to Jamaica, that was like, well, let me give you a backstory. So my mother, for a long time, dated a Jamaican man. So that's where like a lot of my influence came from. And like, this is kind of disgusting, but my parents, when they made me, were in Jamaica. They went on a vacation, and that's where my mom got pregnant. So she likes to say that some of that water got in, and that's why I'm just like crazy about Jamaica, because I've always been like this. Like, even before I knew my husband, I told myself I'm moving to Jamaica. That's been the plan since like 2014, and I've gone for like a year at a time, and then I come back, or I go for 3 months and then I come back, or I go for 6 months and then I come back. But like, I tell you about the grace of God, he has finally given me the opportunity to actually make this like a full-time permanent move. So thanks. But the point that I was making is that when I first started going there and like staying for long extended periods of time, before I would just eat on the road all the time, because I'm a girl who loves fast food. And that's probably why I'm so chunky. But I was gonna buy fast food. But then it got to the point where I was like, you know what, let me start cooking, because I was learning how to cook, and now I'm a chef. And I was just learning how to really cook, right? I remember going to, I think it was Brooklyn, or was it Brooklyn? Yeah, I remember going to the grocery store. This is so embarrassing. And I went to the produce section, and I was like, let me get some onions. And so, mind you, being from America, I was used to the onions being this big, right? So when I got in the produce section, the onion in Jamaica was like this, like a little onion. And so I went to one of the people who worked there, and I was like, where's the normal size produce? Because everything was so much smaller. And so he's looking at me like, what are you talking about? And he was like, this is all that we have. And I said, no, man, something's wrong. So I went to a next grocery store, and I said, all right, they have the little things. Let me go to like a Mega Mart or something, right? And everything in there was small. And so I asked him, I said, where's like the normal size things, right? This is at a new store. And so he was like, no. He said, the stuff that you're eating over there is fake, and it's pumped up, and it's artificial. He was like, this is the size that an onion should be. And I said, really? And he said, yeah, look it up. And then I realized, like, after he said that and I started doing the research, I realized like the food over here really is fake, because even like the apples in Jamaica, they're so soft. And I said, why is this apple so soft? Like, it's so mushy. And like, now I realize the apples here have wax on them, and they coat them in some type of product that makes it last for like 3 years without decomposing. And the apples in Jamaica are how apples should really be. So then when you look at Americans and you see that the majority of this country is overweight, including myself, then you wonder, what are we eating? What are we eating? I don't understand this. Or how can something come all the way from Zimbabwe and Antarctica and it's still fresh by the time it gets here? Something is wrong. So my point is, the food that I eat in Jamaica is so much more better. The chicken is smaller. It has a different flavor. The pork has a different flavor. The juice tastes like real juice that you squeeze. You know what I mean? You can go outside and pick something, wash it, and eat it, and it's nothing. Instead of going to the store where you're buying the stuff that they have artificially created or modified, and it's totally different. It's totally different. You get some oranges at the grocery store, they don't have any seeds. And I never realized that until I went to Jamaica and I started eating watermelon with all these seeds. None of the watermelon I really ate growing up had seeds. They was all seedless. The lemon, seedless. Everything was seedless. And then you sit back and you realize the shit that I've been eating is fake. So that's another reason why I want to go. And yes, you can get fresh produce in other countries, but I'm specifically talking about Jamaica. I'm specifically talking about the stuff that they grow, the farmers bring to the market, and you can buy fresh stuff that's been grown in St. Elizabeth and Manchester, wherever. The eggs that come out of the chicken butt. And it's like real stuff. Like, you know what I mean? So I just can't wait. I can't wait till we finish that house and I can plant some things back there and bring it inside and cook it and give it to my kids. You know? That's what I'm talking about. So that was a long rant, but that answered why I want to move to Jamaica, because trust me guys, I get a lot of hate from people who are from Jamaica because they've been brainwashed to say that, oh, I want to come to foreign. But I'm glad this new generation of Jamaicans are understanding that yes, you can travel and you can go different places, but appreciate what you have, because I'm telling you right now, like, the way inflation is, the way these prices are, like, America, I don't see it as that great land of opportunities, because I did all of the things that they said you should do in order to have a great life, which is going to college, getting married, doing all this stuff. And I know that it takes time to build in your career, but things are getting more and more expensive, and the pay is not getting more expensive. And then you have all these things like AI and outsourcing and all this stuff, where these corporations are buying up all the houses and like people are becoming lifelong renters. Like, there's so many things that's going on where this is not like our parents' generation where you work 30 years, you can retire, your house is paid off, and then you get Social Security. Like, that is not that time anymore. I feel like the social net that we had in America is decreasing. A lot of the things that were here in America that people were like relying on is not the same anymore. And we're in a type of society now where it's like every man for himself. You have to figure it out for yourself. Don't look at the government to be the one to save you. You have to look out for yourself. And I feel like with all that being said, if I'm going to have to do the same thing in both countries, I'd rather that country be Jamaica, because at least I can enjoy myself and my children will have some respect and some manners that probably would have been a little different than if they were here in America. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I know it was all over the place, but let me know if you agree. I see a lot of people on TikTok and YouTube who are moving to Jamaica, and they're a lot younger than the returning residents that we're used to seeing who are retiring. These are young people. These are people mid-career. I'm subscribed to a lot of them. So let me know if you guys understand where I'm coming from. Let me know if you agree. And I look forward to going through this experience with you guys and documenting the progress. So with that, I am out, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much.